Welcome to the second edition of the program for the week. This is the State of the Nation right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state. Good evening to you and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Michael Oni and this is the program where we get to analyze the stories making the headlines for the day. State of the Nation. My name is Michael Oni. Once again, my friends and my colleagues are right here. We do justice to the stories as we do the analysis together. Good evening to you guys.
Good evening to you, Michael. Well, we're back. Yesterday we celebrated the icon himself, Dejo Akwarando, and I had the event actually finished up today at the press center.
Yeah.
It was big, it was massive, all for Dejo Akwarando at 80.
All right, Ginika, good evening to you.
Good evening, Sampson and Michael.
All right, you're welcome. You're looking a little bit dull tonight. Hope all is well.
All is well. I've been here for donkey years.
All right, let's begin the show. Tonight, the State of the Nation right here on Flow 94.9 FM. Well, Abians have continued to register their concerns following the ban of tricycle operations beyond 7 p.m. by the state government. Some of the people who spoke to Flow FM News lamented their hurdles which they face to move to their various destinations. So let's listen to the Vox Pop on the street of Oluoha, the capital city of Abia State.
It affects my business too because as a driver I'm not riding keke. If keke should stop, people that are running town service will benefit from it. Then the traders will also close on time. That will make the time to look so empty and so boring.
Now, because from that 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. we know what we do make. Like our job, or not this job we are doing, they are running 4 o'clock. But between 7 to 9, we can use it to make up to 2,000.
Well, in the morning, I was listening to Abia Speaks, anchored by Mel. A certain caller gave another insight to this. We've said it on this platform that it's an overkill. It's like killing a fly with a sledgehammer. Now, this is the latest tricks and plans of the people that the state government and the police, the security operatives want to stop. And now, they lay siege, they wait by the roadside because they know that people will be trekking, and the moment you're walking, only you, the moment you are lonely on that road at night like this, the next thing is you see someone coming in front and the person come from the back and then they round you up and they snatch whatever thing you have and get back into the bush or into the near, they disappear or vanish into the next street. So it's an overkill. Let us find another way of doing this. Firstly, we have to light up this city at least so that we can see ourselves. You understand what I'm talking about? Let us see our faces.
Yeah. Apart from lighting of the street, we should also make some routes within the city center motorable, serious, because okay, take for instance the place is not lit up. The streets are not lit up, and then you have bad portions of the road here and there. You know, it's going to be a double jeopardy for anybody that is making use of that particular route. So, while we are calling for, the reverse for this particular, policy of government or decision of government to stop keke operations by 7 p.m. If you even around here, if you go by, if you just check around, you see that shops have closed because of this keke thing. So I think I expected, the government to see a way to make the nightlife working in this town. But here we are.
Not forgetting that the government needs to work with the various security apparatus to make sure that there is adequate security in these places, in the affected areas, Aba and Oluoha to be precise. Well, let's move on, guys. Well, there is a new way Abia State government has planned to oversee and monitor all ongoing projects and moribund factories in the state. That's because the governor inaugurated Work and Project Evaluation Committee to oversee and monitor all the ongoing projects and report its recommendations to the state government. Well, the committee was inaugurated at the government house, and the governor was represented by the deputy Ude Okochukwu at the government house. And he said the government is poised to complete all the ongoing road projects and resuscitate moribund factories in the state.
Those roads are not actually abandoned. They are ongoing road projects. Government wants to do something about its priorities, to look at what is left and what could be done to hasten the completion of them. It could be financial, it could be bureaucratic, it could be all of that issue, because those are priority projects because of movement around Aba and elsewhere.
Well, that's the voice of the Abia State Commissioner for Works, Eziuche Ubani, assuring that the committee will do its best to identify what is left in completing the ongoing projects, road projects in the state.
Okay, apart from the road projects, I am also very much interested in factories that have gone moribund.
Okay.
For instance, the glass industry in Aba. I want to see, okay, maybe after the work of the committee, maybe when they are presenting their recommendation, we'll now know the factories that have gone moribund. And but that particular Abia, the glass industry in Aba, and the ceramic here. But though I understand that it has been sold to Catholic Church, but even at that, it's not working. If the Catholic Church is not maintaining it, can they reverse the sale and all that? If not, then look at other moribund factories. I don't know. Do we even have any in our state?
Look at the composition of that committee. You have the Commissioner for Works, Eziuche Ubani. You have the Commissioner for Information, John Okiyikalu. You have the Commissioner for Finance, Obina Uriako. You have that of Environment, Chineye Nwogu, the Principal Secretary to the Governor. I see this thing like just duplication of functions. Then, if we're having this committee as an action committee, what has been the role of the Ministry of Works all along? Or is the commissioner now telling us that the Aba Road that's been there for a very long time could not, that the government couldn't finish it on schedule because of what? I don't understand. It's just for the government to muster that political will, finish up these projects, and then you have 4 years again.
And then probably initiate new ones.
Initiate new ones. That is what we're talking about here. Talking about moribund industry, well, Golden Guinea, we understand.
Yeah. It's not. Is it a state? It's not a state-owned industry.
It's been
I think it's
given out to a core investor.
Okay.
A core investor, and
was it owned by the state government in the first place?
Well,
I don't think so.
That I can't really establish, but as it is, the government has a role to play in all this. The government must trigger the development of these industries, provide enabling environment, and then the governor has played a key role by helping the core investors to get critical financial part of whatever they needed to revive that industry through the vice president and then a bank of industry, which is good. The government must provide that stimulus to drive some of these key sectors, which is what they are supposed to do. And government, we must underline it, has no business being in business.
All right, let's move on. Well, a good one, a breakthrough in education sector. Well, let's talk about it in Abia State before we move to other stories here in Nigeria. There was a drama at Ikeja High Court today, but before we go there, Mercy Girls High School in Isialangwa North Local Government area of Abia State recorded a breakthrough in the production of biogas. According to the principal of the school, Reverend Sister Lillian Ifeoma, disclosed that the school produces biogas by converting animal, human, and kitchen waste to gas that could be used in cooking and generating electricity. I will say it's a good one.
Well, it's a good one. You remember there was a certain core member that served at Ibeku High School.
Exactly.
That core member was able to put up something like this, and she powered most of the things they used in that school through something that is similar.
It actually helped the community in Abia
even
State.
Neighboring communities within the school there. Something similar to this. It's something innovative, very creative.
Very creative.
And then University of Nigeria and Soka is pioneering that drive around here. And let's see if these young chaps can be pushed to University of Nigeria and Soka for better understanding where they can do more research and then improve on the process.
The principal said she has trained teachers and 53 students from the school and their parents in skills of solar production, installation, and maintenance.
I think the Ministry of Science and Technology can step in this matter. I see a way to support those the students who has done this, and probably, like you said, push the person, push him or her to the next level, so as you don't allow that to waste. Because should that waste, is going to be is a loss to everybody, especially in other states. So the Ministry of Science and Technology, I think this should be their beat. Let them step in this time around.
Well, INEC presented certificate of return to Nyesom Wike, the governor-elect in the last election, talking about the gubernatorial election in Rivers State. Well, Nyesom Wike is the incumbent. You remember a whole lot of things actually surrounded that election before he was declared the winner. Well, in what he termed as a well-deserved victory, he dedicated the election victory to those army killed in defense of their vote, according to him in court anyways, not by myself, but according to Nyesom Wike, the governor-elect in Rivers State. Guys.
Immediately when he was declared the winner, as in the governor-elect, I think he dedicated that particular victory to the people, especially those that lost their life in the course of the election, 2019 election in the state. That particular state have suffered a whole lot of violence, especially during election. Even in 2015, it was the same thing, and in 2019, still the same thing happened. I think he has also said that every other person should close rank and see how they can come together and move the state forward. If that's the case, I think all the political actors, APC, PDP in that state, for the sake of peace in that particular state, that particular state is the treasure base of this country. And if they keep having this political violence here and there, distractions here and there, I think it's going to affect the economic base of the country. So I think everybody in Rivers State, all the political actors and gladiators should close ranks. Let them rally around the governor who is calling on them to move the state forward. Let them move that state forward so that we can have some level of sanity and stability politically in Rivers State.
I'm seeing an unholy alliance, if that can pull through, seriously.
How do you mean?
Unholy alliance, like you having Wike, Amechi, the Peter side, Magnus Abe,
I think Magnus Abe,
Cole sit together again.
But they used to be friends.
That would be very miraculous.
Let's listen to Wike speak. The statement he gave immediately, the certificate of return was presented to him.
Politicians are troublemakers. Politicians in Rivers State are not troublemakers. Rivers State is a peaceful state and will continue to be a peaceful state. What nobody wants to say, why is it that it's only when election comes that people say it's violent? People abandon their responsibilities. People take over jobs they are not supposed to do. So today, I dedicate, on behalf of members of Assembly elect, on behalf of my Deputy Governor and my humble self, we dedicate this victory to God Almighty. We dedicate this victory to the people of Rivers State. We dedicate this victory to those whom the army killed in defense of their votes.
Well, it was a long speech, but then we won't be able to take everything. But then let's move on to the biggest one tonight, Sampson.
Okay, I just wanted to chip in something. Ginika, we're talking about PDP and the 2019 governorship elections in Nigeria. I mean, Rivers State capped it all for PDP. It was a fine run. It's on record. No sitting PDP governor lost in the bid to return to the office. Rather, they gained some more. They gained Imo State. They gained Adamawa or your state. They gained Bauchi. So it was a fine run for PDP. They are great masters in their own game, no doubt about that. And for Rivers State, yes, it's like you said, it's the treasure base of the nation. And politically, that place is always charged when it comes to election. And for PDP to clinch that state, it's a big plus. Whatever strategy that was deployed, I think they deserve all the commendations.
Okay, well, let's move on, guys. Let's talk about the biggest one tonight. But then it looks like APC has 15 states and PDP, is it 15 now?
PDP has 15.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the election held in 29
states. Exactly.
PDP won 15.
Okay.
APC won 14, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 14. Almost even.
And you know, the other ones that election didn't hold.
In Kogi, Osun, Edo, Ekiti, Bayelsa, Ondo, and Anambra State.
Okay, apart from the
29, the governorship election held in 29 of the 36 states.
Yeah.
Exactly.
PDP won 15.
Yes.
APC won 14.
Okay.
Then you have the other ones, about 6 of them. No, 7 of them.
Okay.
Where election didn't hold because of the, like Sampson said, off-season.
Okay.
And you have 1 ABGA, 1 PDP in Bayelsa, then the rest are APC.
Okay, now let's look at it from the other perspective.
Okay.
Let's look at the states where you have the off-season elections.
Okay.
You have Kogi at the moment.
At the moment,
Kogi is controlled by APC. Yaya Bello. He's been having rough times with the people of that state. And Kogi,
even
Kogi
with
used
the leader of the...
Kogi used to be a PDP state until 2015 when that tide, the change mantra swept through.
No, it wasn't.
Central,
it wasn't all through PDP. If you remember, from 1999 to 2000,
it used to be
AMPP
under Abubakar Audu. Then you're going back to Osun State, very much in contention. Then Edo State now under the control of APC. But you remember the great showing, the great strength that PDP showed in the South and Southeast. So if another election is to be conducted in Edo State, and look at Oshomole, almost, I don't know whether he delivered his word in Edo State. PDP lost in most of the legislative elections in Edo State. So if another election is to be conducted in Edo State, would APC still control affairs? Then you're going back to Bayelsa, completely PDP for now.
But I think they won 1 House of Reps. APC won a House of Reps seat in.
Then in Ondo State, the governor there, Kerodolu, is having rough times with the
national
leadership of the party. Then ABGA.
In Anambra State.
It will be miraculous if ABGA, with the kind of alliance and the relationship they've had with different political parties, I will be surprised if ABGA retains Anambra State in the next election.
They will because of the Ojukwu factor. Don't forget, Ojukwu was there in 2003. In fact, he even contested under ABGA in 2003 for presidency. So, and they've always used his picture to campaign. Any governorship candidate that is running for a second term or any of the times, you always want to campaign with Ojukwu's picture. So, and you know the kind of sympathy Igbos have for Ojukwu and all that. So, I strongly believe that ABGA will still retain that state.
Well, adding the 7 states where elections were not held to complete Nigeria's total 36 states, the APC now has 20 states. The party controls Ondo, Edo, Osun, Kogi, and Ekiti. The PDP has 15 states, including Bayelsa, and the All Progressive Grand Alliance has 1 in Anambra State. Well, guys, let's move on to the biggest one tonight. There was a drama at the premises of Ikeja High Court as officials of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission arrested Justice Rita Ophelia Jumogobia, the former judge of the Federal High Court, after corruption charges against her were struck out. Now, what happened? Well, Justice Oshodi, in a ruling, struck out the 31-count charge against that particular former judge, Mrs. Ophelia Jumogobia, filed by and against her and one SAN, Mr. Obla, on the grounds that the court lacked jurisdiction to hear the suit. But then, about 10 officials of EFCC surrounded her, Mrs. Ophelia Jumogobia, as she attempted to leave the premises of the court at about 10:24 after the ruling by Justice Hakeem Oshodi. And upon citing the officials, the judge made a retreat and went back upstairs to Justice Oshodi's courtroom to seek protection of the court from the EFCC operatives. But then, when notified about the development, Justice Oshodi said there was nothing he could do as the file had been closed. So the embattled former judge and her husband were there, observed frantically, making various phone calls, but at the end of the day, she was picked there at the court premises at about 11:47 a.m. by some officials, EFCC officials, who whisked her away in white Helios van with Abuja plate number BWR 63780. Well then, that's actually our biggest story tonight on the program, guys. It looks like the ruffle in judiciary is not going to end soon.
It's a vicious circle. Look at it this way. Over time, you've had senior lawyers beat EFCC in court to their own game. They go to court, all they care about is media trial. Get all the journalists in Lagos, in Abuja, wherever the person would be, the court would sit and make sure that they take all the shots and parade the person over the pages of front pages of national dailies the next day. That is what EFCC would do, and they don't even care about diligent prosecution. They don't care about getting necessary evidence. How can you have a 31 count charge struck out in one stretch? It tells you that you have done a bad job as the prosecutor of that case. As the EFCC prosecutor, at that point, you should drop your wig and go home and think of what you're going to do with your professional career.
EFCC released a statement and said to enable the commission prepare a fresh criminal charge against her, they had to pick her. That was a statement released.
Is she on the run?
I remember in this country, one judge like that, I think it should be one of the Supreme Court, justices then, said, I think he cautioned the EFCC that they should be able to get all their facts ready, all the evidences and all that, before bringing or arresting anybody. So that not when you bring somebody or you arrest anybody, you now dump the person, you keep on going, like you said, the media trial and all that, and the thing will prolong for a very long time. The judge categorically warned them to make sure that you have all the evidences at hand. So that
permits me to read a statement from the permits me to read a sentence from the statement released by EFCC, and I quote: "Consequent upon the fact that the commission had presented Justice Ophili Ajimogobia before the Nigeria National Judicial Council for disciplinary action, and that the NJC had taken a position, the commission would now approach the court to prepare fresh charges against her." That's because where it said that a judge was executed until he or she had been either dismissed or compulsorily retired by the National Judicial Council. So the commission took her to the NJC for disciplinary action so that the commission can prepare fresh charges against her. Okay.
Well, what we're talking about here is you going through the right process. I mean, there is no ground for you to rearrest someone, and then is she on the run? Has she been declared wanted? If that is the case, she's a Nigerian, and you could have asked the court to ask the woman to drop her traveling documents so that she would not disappear. And then even if she disappears, you definitely know she has an address. She is a distinguished judge.
I think Dasuki also faced such a thing before. When he was granted bail, they always come with one or two charges again against him and all. So many people have gone through that.
Yes, you remember Olisame too. You remember Dasuki.
As soon as you are granted bail, they will just come up with
a fresh charge like against you. And at the point, Femi, Fane, Kayode, all through that process, they're always having one charge in their file. In case the rest fails, activate Plan B and get the person arrested again, detain the person. It's so funny.
All right, let's head straight to the phone lines. Don't forget, today the number of bills passed by the 8th National Assembly and rejected by our dear President, President Muhammadu Buhari, since assumption of office in May 2015 has increased to 38. That's because
it's record-breaking.
Another bill was rejected today, according to a letter sent in by the president. But we may not have the opportunity to play you what happened on the floor of the Senate today. But then join us on Thursday for the program by 8 p.m. 0808 182 6949 0811 605 2949. You can also drop your messages on the SMS line 0906 510 8289. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, Michael.
Yes, good evening.
Sampson and Ginika, good evening all.
Good evening. Welcome.
I remember Mr. Prince Oluoha from Monachinobo local government area. I believe we ordinary citizens are not free in this nation. If a judge of such a caliber can be assaulted by EFCC, I mean, it's quite wrong. So my advice is this: let the judiciary, let them not be cowed, nor gagged by the activities of these executives. Most importantly, on the use of EFCC and other people to drag them up. Let them sit up to their right. Most importantly, the NJC, let them see to it so that this inhuman treatment should stop. That's my thing. May God bless in the studio.
All right, thank you for your contribution. 0808-182-6949. 0811-605-2949. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Mike.
Yes, good evening.
Ginika, Sampson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Reverend John Nene. I'm calling from Oluoha. I want to talk about what you just discussed about the APC state and the PDP state. I see PDP